It's now less than a month until Inauguration Day, but some people are wondering, will President Obama ever actually leave? This is what the president told David Axelrod for his podcast, The Axe Files.
The majority does buy into the notion of a one America that is tolerant and diverse and open. I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it.
He thinks he could have won. Democratic strategist Jessica Ehrlich joins us tonight from Florida. Jessica, it's good to see you. It almost sounds Trumpian. If I ran again, you would get tired of all this winning. I'm Barack Obama, and I would keep on winning.
Well, I think actually the president's been saying that through the last at least 6 months. I mean, he did have, record-breaking approval ratings, especially in this last term and this last year as president. And I think he's been very confident and expressed this over and over, as we've seen in the last year, that if he could, run again and be doing it on his own, then things would be very different than they are right now.
But Jessica,
I mean, that being said,
yeah.
Is
that confidence or is that arrogance? Is that confidence or arrogance?
I think it's a little bit of both, but certainly he's, allowed that. He's had 8 years of being president with definitely setting records. He was the first African-American elected as president of the United States. I mean, he's done things that, no one else has done, whether you like them or not, and has really been able to achieve quite a bit during his time. And I think, he has a moment now where he can sort of look back on the last 8 years. And I think also now we're going to see him moving towards what his legacy will be and how he wants to structure that going forward, what things will look like. He's still relatively a young man, and there's a lot ahead of him. So what that looks like, will be interesting to see. But certainly, I think he's going to spend a lot of time sort of protecting his legacy.
Well, Jessica, I listened closely a moment ago when you said if he had been on his own, he could have won. It seems like you're suggesting, as other Democrats and Republicans have, that Hillary Clinton was a bad candidate, and if only Barack Obama didn't have that tether, if he ran directly against Donald Trump, you think he might have won?
Well, I mean, I think it's a possibility. I don't think that, Hillary Clinton was a bad candidate. I think it was a very difficult time. I think there was a lot of baggage and things where she got, took a lot of hits for it. There are a lot of issues that went into her campaign and why she lost. Certainly, this was an election unlike anything that we have seen, certainly in the last, century. Whether Obama would have been able to beat Donald Trump, there's a good possibility, but who can say how he would have handled the slings and arrows? I mean, there's a lot of animosity between those two men. However, they've really sort of seemed to put that aside. I mean, even Trump has said that during this transition, Obama has been nothing but gracious, that Michelle Obama has been very gracious. They've been very open and helpful to him and his transition team. So, I think now he's just sort of enjoying the glow of, his presidency being over, maybe no more gray hairs in the future.
Well, it's interesting because you mentioned that positive transition, and Donald Trump has had a lot of good things to say about both Barack and Michelle Obama. Then you look at what happened at the UN. You look at Barack Obama now in this interview with David Axelrod, his old campaign manager and strategist, saying, look, I probably could have beaten Trump. It's no wonder Donald Trump a short time ago went on Twitter and said, quote, President Obama said that he thinks he would have won against me. He should say that, but I say no way. Jobs leaving, ISIS, O'Care, as in Obamacare, etc. I also find it intriguing. Listen, Barack Obama is now trying to say, look, I wasn't on the ballot. This was about Hillary Clinton, not me. Look what he said actually during the campaign. We checked.
I may not be on the ballot this time, but everything we've done's been on the ballot.
So he said then to voters going to the polls, I'm not on the ballot, but my policies, my agenda, it's on the ballot. He said that both in the 2014 midterms and lost, and he said it in 2016, and Democrats lost, Jessica.
Well, there's a lot of issues that we've had as a party, certainly with a trickle-down, if you will, effect. We've had Obama running at the top of the ticket, and we've seen this ever since 2010. We have steadily continued to lose House seats, lose Senate seats, lose state majorities, whether they be in the state houses, Senate seats, and governorships. And it's a real concern for people. There's this sort of lack of translation of, he as a man, as an individual, was really someone who galvanized people. And I think Trump actually is the same way and can safely say that he won basically on that sort of cult of personality, if you will.
Yeah.
Whether that affects or helps other Republicans down the ticket is yet to be seen. The party itself, I think both political parties are really in a position of change, and how these men both affect them going forward. Donald Trump for Republicans, and will Obama be as engaged in the Democratic Party, and what our future looks like, it's really hard to say. I haven't seen any indications that he's really going to be that active, going forward.
That's right. Jessica Ehrlich, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll have to leave it there, but
Thanks.
That is a looming question with this interview saying, I could have beaten Trump. Is he really going to leave the stage, Barack Obama? Or I suspect we might be hearing from him in the days ahead. Good. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.